we go. All right. Let's see. Lots of action today. All right. Firstly, let's deal with the elephant in the room here. I'm not talking about myself. Uh, VIX giving up. It's trying to get its last breath here. Let's just bring this line down. I see it off the corner of that green. Let me get it up a little bit. Come on. There we go. Here's the channel that it needs to tap back on in order to reject. We can also reject its.
Banana.
Yes, sir.
We cannot see your screen.
Why not? Why can't you see my screen?
I'm
Ah.
visualizing it though. I'm with you.
This is very easy to see from a mental state. How about that? Let's see. There we go. Sorry about that. It's happening more and more
More better.
often as I more better butter. Yeah, I find the more that I am frustrated with Claude, the more mistakes that I make. I've These have been the worst 3 days of trying to create a repeatable process that's doable in the time frame that it needs to be done in, and I have failed miserably. So I apologize. I am definitely misstepping on pieces. Adding today's webinar is extra time on the mic and less time doing other things. It was tough. So my apologies. Uh, and thanks for listening to all my excuses. Anyway, here we are. So VIX coming down. I extended the channel down here for you. So bottoming out 17,495 for the day, which isn't going to happen. So we know that's clear. 17,760 is the floor that I'm looking for on for the bounce. 17.7 where we tapped off at is also a possible piece here. So we need to defeat those levels in order to keep dropping. All that's doing is taking volatility out of the market. um, you'll notice that while today gave us kind of a nice run up and down, we've had a lot more volatility today than normal, but at the same time, the VIX has been pushing down and trying to suppress. So what does that look like on ES? So we've got our pop in the morning, and then our run up, which we took out the 4-hour 20, and we actually closed that gap on SPY here. You can see that right there, closing that gap. Immediately rejected, pushed us on back down. And now we are coming back down here. So this is what I was talking about this morning in terms of the 4-hour 9 coming up as support. So as we trail on down here, we'll find that support, which then will set the pace basically for this new channel that we're entering. So we've got this trend line here over here. We're going to have something very similar to that. I'll steal it. Why not? It actually looks like it's going to be a little steeper this time around. But we're going to have a trend line here that we're going to be following in order to grow back out of this. So let me just get out of place because I'll draw one when we're ready. And but right now, so as we fall, I feel like we're going to continue to kind of wallow down here and get to these levels, especially with SPY probably opening up the next candle lower and getting down to this Asia high level here. If we do for some reason go back up and reject the 4-hour 20 or the daily 9 again, that will immediately push us back into that direction here. We have to be careful because of the levels where we were at yesterday here. This is the key level here at 767.42 with SPY. Losing that puts us into full free fall mode, and we will then find the daily 20 and the 4-hour 50. Bound to happen at some point. We've got gaps to fill. We've got things to happen here, but at the same time, trying to extrapolate SPY's movement versus the rest of the markets and who is affecting who. So let's go over to Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin's doing. Oh yeah, look at that. What a run. So we definitely hit our targets there in terms of surpassing the stay. We did not consolidate here in August as suspected. Instead, we went ahead and finished the run up and tapped up that 69.7. Pulling back on that, this is all symposium related. This is all the likelihood of the crypto act and all those pieces happening. So we have definitely have a run here that's going to give us a little bit of a pressure point back. But either way, it's good for Bitcoin to get this kind of momentum. It shows the interest in it. We've been seeing some real dead candles here with no volume and just no action whatsoever. So nice to see this snap out of here and start to grow. It's also asset class divergence. Bitcoin can and eventually will go up when the market goes down. We will start to see that as this develops into a stronger asset class. Believe it or not, I hear penetration rates are still in like the low 20s or 18 to 22, something like that. So not a lot of people have any exposure even to this, or and then there's like something like 42% of the people don't even know what it is. But then again, if you ever watch those people interviewing, strangers on the street, you wonder how this world turns. But let's see. Going over to the war chart, here you can get a clearer picture of today. Pretty erratic up here. We've got some structures set in place. We're now coming to back test the whole day. 4-hour 9 acting as support here at 7719. This will be major support. You can see we've already got it locked in down here and on the growth plate here. So if you were following along and you wanted to grab the points as they happened today, here is where it looked like, and we just lost the trend. So see that point right here and here, that grabbed us on the day. Here's the 8:30 news announcements. And then you have right here, which is basically close to the 10 o'clock close. Push those two on through. You can see everything above it is staying. We've now lost this point here. We go back test. What's following along with that? Well, we've got oil popped up to 85.4. Not horrible. But the surprise is obviously the VIX still wallowing down at lower levels. This will change quickly, and it will be by surprise. So when the VIX does decide to move and it hits its bounce point and grows, this whole thing will shift in a very quick fashion. So just keep an eye out for that, and that will give us so we can kind of follow that a little bit and see if oil pops up higher too. The geopolitical side isn't giving us the hedge here. I think I saw something like we don't even know if we're going to have discussions with Iran and stuff like that. So everything is kind of just out there. So I feel like everything's really loosely run at this point in time regarding geopolitical. So while I'd like to dismiss it all, it exists and it is going to affect us one way or the other. Here's SPY on the 4-hour, on the 4-hour, 24-hour. So it gives you kind of a better look of just the candles for the day, leading into the day and pumping up. So you get your pre-market and then you've got your noon candle here with the retracement. So 24-hour, 4-hour 9 on support. Oh, I can't wait till we've been doing this long enough and I can get rid of this 24-hour so we can just call it the 4-hour 9 again. Anyway, turning around, this is curling 407 in support. You can see how nicely these move, and being able to follow them all the way through in the overnight and into regular trading is really nice feature to give us some spatial awareness of what's happening on SPY. So anyway, back to this, looking at that, back test down here, we're probably headed in that direction. Next candle will give us the key indicator for that. What does that mean on the daily? I got that squiggly still, huh? Get rid of that. There we go. Actually, I want to get rid of a lot of this here. Let me just clean this up for you guys real quick so that we don't have things that are distracting me while I'm talking, because that really messes with the OCD. Okay. So what did I tell you this morning? I said we were going to open slightly below the channel line, the center point, the center line of the channel, and that if we took it and kept going, that we would stay in this channel and go, or if we rejected and we came in here, then we'd stay in this channel. So it's all about the candle close. This is the daily, so we still have some hours left in the day. But if it closed below this, that pushes us in this general direction. And you can see what my concerns are about on the daily here when you look left here in terms of the support that we have. So the biggest deep support we have in the run, probably right around here, which ties with my 755.58 resistance level bottom here. So right about there. So that would be support, and that would be a breakthrough the channel bottom at a certain point. So we'll bounce off that. So you got to remember these things all move forward as we go from left to right in this path here. So breaching that would probably after a breach of the actual channel bottom, which means we probably spend a day bouncing off of that wherever we land on there. That's if we close below here, and it's likely that we probably will. You can see it's coming up here, bouncing off of these 4-hour 9s and these resistance levels in rejection, and clearly 76775 would be a nicety to close above to potentially give us a rejection back in this flow, but I think anything below the center line puts us in that mode. Qs, yeah, my charts are messed up because the computer restarted. Of course. Qs. Okay, so I'm not sure if I added this before or after with you guys, but I did set this new channel. This is before. It's Soxal. I added one. So this one is, we lost the channel bottom here. So that puts us in range here. Supported the daily 50, daily 20, 4-hour 50, weekly 9. This is a nice cluster of supports right here. We already bounced off the daily 50 and set the weekly low. You can see this weekly low just set here, right smack under the daily 50 there. The daily 50 had turned and we actually brought it back, so we're kind of level on that right now. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing numbers next to here, but I'll sort that out later. And daily 20 is back into support. Daily 9 is still in support at a resistance level in support, but about to turn. So when that turns, you can tell where are we on a daily chart when we sit between a 9 and a 20. We are in consolidation, and this is a major consolidation area here. We've seen this several times. This is all leading into the major events. So we've got 2 o'clock today, which is in a half hour, which we get the FOMC minutes. And then we have earnings from NVIDIA next Wednesday. So all craziness aside, we'll see where we push to. I have a feeling that minutes give us a little bit of a help here, and that NVIDIA probably takes us on the downturn next week. If it's the opposite way, then it's probably completely the opposite. But these catalysts are wild, man. They just are really taking us to new levels here of manipulation. So the hardest part that I try to understand is why the VIX is floundering when we can't break out of key levels and even close gaps. Look at this gap Q has been holding for 2 days straight, and all the ability to bounce on support with a bunch of tech in support of it too, and yet we just continue to wallow. So not great stuff. Here's NVIDIA. All right. Here's NVIDIA bouncing off this line here. I know this is an exit line move, but they tend to end in good spots for me. So 24-hour, 4-hour 9 in suppression, pushing us down. We've got the inverted MA structure in one more candle, which will put the 24-hour 20 underneath the 4-hour 50. That'll give us the trifecta here. Everybody's negative 85 at 0.85. 1873, and of course down 20% on the 24-hour 4-hour 9. So all that leads to suppression here on this. If you looked at what we talked about in terms of playing strangles into next week and you're up here, you're already doing pretty well with that. There's still plenty of time for entries for that type of play. As far as which direction we're going to head in when we get there, haven't decided yet, but I do have key levels here set for you guys in case we start to move pretty quickly. And today may give us some of that motion there. All right, Soxal. So here's the one that I really wanted to kind of spend some time on. I've been kind of pounding the table a little bit in terms of where we would be with this. I even drew a circle here. I don't know when. But here, we're in a circle. We are in the circle, guys. Here's monthly 9. We made it. We're in the circle. I've got big players in on Soxal Leaps. I got big players in on October calls, November calls, December and January calls. I got a whole pile of people in on this. And what we are looking for from here, from this point here, is we are looking for a bounce that pulls us out and sends us up. I'm going to show you on the daily chart in a minute. Sends us out, and then we cap out and we have to exit. So do not enter into this play unless you are ready to exit in probably a week to 2 weeks max. on this bounce out, and then we will be retracing back. I'll say that again because somebody just joined in who might be interested. So this play is once we're in this, we're looking for 1 to 2 weeks max on this one before the retracement, and then looking for the reentry again. So so this is a solid entry here. We've got this level, keyed out. Again, our floor on this whole process is here is 86.25. We are well above that for right now, but do not be surprised if we do see this. This was mentioned yesterday. I'm just going to key it in here, which is why we always scale. So this is always a possibility here. Not expecting it at the moment, but and again, I have entries in here too, as well, and actually bought right in on this candle right here, on the 1020 candle here. My timestamp is, oh, sorry, no, my timestamp's 10/18/22. So what's that? So 10/18. Oh, I got out on this one, almost at the low, the candle below the low, the candle above the low. So anyway, right there for the day. This structure doesn't look particularly helpful in terms of staying above the lower lows here, but Soxhole will swirl around a little bit here. 2 p.m. is going to be the call for it. Not even going to venture to guess. Don't really care. All I know is that this is a good entry point. Monthly 9 always is. Floundering below is no problem as long as you've got some time on your call. So everything will be all right. All right, switch over to the daily on Soxhole so that we can look at this from a structural standpoint. I have added, since this morning, I have added another level to the, let me just straighten that out a little bit, to the channels here. So this bottom level here to the channel. So this is the bottom point where we tapped off of. I added it after, so I am using this candle as the bottom, the live candle, but I'm also using components from the past here in terms of showing the structural back and forth here. This channel could be wider, but I don't want to extend it that far because I don't think it actually works in terms of doing the math for this to happen. Just going to show you a potential on that though. So this is the potential on that in terms of the angular down, but I don't think we see any of that as whatsoever. I think actually the channel we're in, we will wick below slightly, possibly touching the daily 200 and then bouncing out of that. So daily 200 would support that too, but I think the daily 200 pops up a little bit from here. We got a 20% degree increase over 2 days, getting us to Friday. We'll be up here. We're closer to the 4-hour 370 when that happens. So, but what I wanted to point out was this run here that we got here. This went everywhere as planned. It was supposed to be, except for one thing. It topped out here instead of my projections of up higher. But I do want to point out that even though it topped out here, I did call the top out probably 1, 2, 3, 4 days early or something like that. So just into this channel here, not getting out to the top here. So, but the rejection was real. It did happen, and that's exactly what I expected. So that rejection has pushed us down here. We've gained support now at the next channel's level. Channel makes sense too. Just if you look at size-wise, they tend to be just the repeatable structures in the consolidation zones, and then we have gaps. So this all works. Logistically, monthly 9 in support, definitely bleed through. That was expected to. Don't forget, the monthly 9 is going to bleed through. It's not going to hold tight as a thing. The daily 9 is not going to be super helpful. It wasn't. Where was the daily 9 today? or I should say 2 days ago. We were here. We dropped down below. We skipped it entirely. So again, those weren't going to be helpful. 200 is the one I said would be. Weekly 50 is always a game changer. So this is, kind of last line of support here. But I'm not afraid to be in here, regardless of whatever happens on this range down on the bottom. If you have time on your contracts, you're fine. We will end up back out here. The key is that this bounce that we get from here, once we get it pushed, and this is going to be after Wednesday next week with NVIDIA, once we see that, this bounce needs to take out this high. And once it takes out that high and we get it we're going to pass the daily 50. Once we get up into this range here, this is going to be the key decision-making area where we're probably going to need to reduce and pay attention. While we will likely go higher, okay, that will be at your own risk. I am going to call it closer to here because at some point between here and wherever this top is, we're going to find that rejection again, and we're going to come down lower. And may come down to this level here and bounce and hold, or we may actually come down really close to this floor that we reached on July 29th. So bold moves right here. Bold moves. You guys got this. Just be cautious. It's not going to happen in 30 seconds. You guys have plenty of time. Just pay attention. Ask questions. Uh, Toss a line in on the floor. MHM, I feel for you, man. I am so sorry. I'm trying to do everything that I can. Just throw a line on the floor. Say, hey, man, where are we with Soxel? Where are we with T Triple Q? Where are we with this? So that I get that urgency so I can push it on through for you, and get you some comments on there for that stuff. Otherwise, I am just trying to unbury myself through the clusterfuck of finding this stuff out, of figuring out how to get through here and where to target you guys for exits. Anyway, that's enough on Soxel. You've seen it. MU Daily 9 support. We got it right there. So again, we're in the support zone here. We're actually in consolidation technically too, using the 4-hour 50 as the floor and the 9 and the 20 on the top end. So you can see the squeeze happening right here. 24-hour, 4-hour 50, 4-hour 9. That squeeze is going to result in a push. I think it gives us a little kick down. Daily 9 may support it immediately and send it back up because it is in support. You can see right here. But we will play this one tightly. I wouldn't suggest any kind of momentum into here until we get a little more clarity on today's 2 o'clock meeting. That'll give us a little bit more help. CRDO, what a waste. This was so much fun this morning to see this thing run all the way up here and then get rejected from the daily 9 push. But as promised, as always, we get a 14 point run, 15-point run from the open, or from yesterday's close, I should say. And what did we really get today? We got 254 to 229. So yeah, you got about 25 points on the run here. This is just a phenomenal instrument to trade with. And you've got on the 5-minute, you can see very clearly here. This was rough. These first couple of candles were rough. They always are. If you're in it on the overnight, you got to make decisions here. And then we have a drop. Okay, we come down here. We hit that 4-hour 50, bounced off it. So this bounce is solid. Pushed us up through VWAP, then lost it again, and then we just consolidated and then fell back. Now we have the double bottom, scenario. But what we need to contend with here is the 30-minute 9 and the weekly 9 here as resistance. And how do we do that? We take it in strides. What we're looking for is the 5-minute 9 in the first, then the 5-minute 20, then the 5-minute 50. That 5-minute 50 will be lower than the weekly 9 by the time we get up there and trying to take those levels. In support underneath, though, 4-hour 50 here. I don't think we lose that today, unless 2 o'clock brings us something crazy. But I don't think it's going to affect CRDO as much as others. Back down on the bottom here, we're outside of the trend line. We're still in range to play it, but we are definitely outside that right now. So looking to see on any bounces if we can get back on up there. Again, market conditions are going to start to take over and control this one if we get these wild swings that I'm looking for. So just be cautious there with that. CoreWeave had a pretty erratic day today too. Definitely trying to push itself up. Keeps getting rejected on the 4-hour 9. And so it will push through eventually. I think that this is our second attempt on it today. We haven't seen it for a little bit, right? So we've been pushing down. We've had room to it, so we're pushing it. So you can see this. Just think of this as like a curling bottom. That curling bottom is trying to then fight the support. Any hard rejections will push us down. But here's the squeeze play. We got 4-hour 9. Monthly 9, so this will squeeze if it continues to run in this direction, ultimately pinching out CoreWeave more than likely to the upside without geopolitical and NVIDIA news, but with geopolitical and NVIDIA news could actually push us in the other direction. Weekly 9, not quite in support, but is there, and just need to look, make sure we have all these pieces in line here. So I'd stay away from this right now. I don't really like the way it's playing. Another one I'd stay away from right now too is AMD. Oh, this looks like a sweet double bottom setting up or triple bottom setting up. I am a little fearful that AMD is going to be the first one to tip its hat in terms of direction. So I'm watching it closely so that we can see there. But losing 461, getting it underneath the weekly 20, we haven't done that in quite some time. In fact, the last time was here at the 419 mark there, 420.20. So just cautious here with this. This is definitely a major support zone right here. So we'll see if it breaks this. That's going to basically give us a key indication of going forward. I don't want to buy the upside on this one. I don't think it runs as fast. I think AMD is going to be my bellwether for the downside, MU for the upside. I'm going to split those that way entirely because I think they're going to react differently as we go through here. They'll both trend in the same direction, but we'll see more action one side or the other. Tesla with a nice pop today. Look at that. A lot of couple clients here with sold cash secured puts. That's making some headway here. And again, TP is coming up on this too. While I agree with everything Ginger says in terms of the growth of Tesla and the future of it, the short-term game is wild. So you got to be on your toes with Tesla. Nice spot right here. We'll get a little pullback tomorrow into probably just below VWAP here, possibly all the way to the 4-hour 9 RTH, which is here. Otherwise, from that, we're going to have to test this high at that 351.26. Testing that with the 4-hour 200 will definitely cause a rejection. That rejection can be tested again and probably will be within one or two candles. Weekly 9 will also reject on initial exposure. So we won't gap up over that. But fun run for Tesla anyway. SpaceX. Did it die yet? No, not yet. All right, it's working on it. It's working on it. It's just floundering here. It's trying to figure out what it's going to do with the pressures that be a lot of exposure to high-level funds and people. So there is some manipulation here as well. But just going to continue to watch this and see where we go from there. No action here. Apple. Nice run up on Apple. Hey, One Mom, I don't know where you're at with this, but you got a nice run here. So this is again, we've entered in that flat into the next key level for rejection. We've got a timed out space here. This is definitely an exit zone unless we take that 4-hour 50 on the RTH. We are potentially going to reject that and come back down and test. So this test could yield us to push continuously higher here. Obviously, we have the big push here for. Oh, good for you, One Mom. I'm glad you got out. I know you did finally in profit more than likely too. So that's a good news. All right. So 4-hour 9 pushing up in support, 4-hour 20 in support, 4-hour 50 turning in support, almost aligned. Back test will have a massive support layer here now. This is the kind of stuff that you look for the great play. So if you are looking for an Apple play, it's when the Apple breaks out like this, comes back and supports a cluster that has, I want to say 15 different support levels all underneath it here. Let that support hold and give us the push higher. Any rejections underneath, any three of these going through is going to ultimately push down and stall. So it'll stall out down here. So we want to see the back test, take that push and run if we get it. That looks really good. Apple looks good. Again, market conditions can change all this, but Apple on its own is looking very, very good there. I'll cover those really right now. I think we've got, let me get over here to SPY again. So here's our new candle on the regular trading hour session. Looks like we are waiting for 4-hour 9 and 4-hour 20 consolidation here, pushing down. So we're good. We're in this kind of zone. We're not going anywhere right now from this perspective. I do want to see Soxel again with its new well, I'm going to look at the 5-minute here and see if that breaks out. So we want to hold this key level here for today, if you're day trading, for day trading to go, and that should hopefully push us up. So you get another shot at the exit on the high, I think. Otherwise, any push to the low will hold the current low. 2 p.m. That's going to give us some news. May change the whole thing. I will be here watching the floor. Anything crazy, we'll see it. Please type your questions in there as we go. If you have anything that you want to speak to me about now, I am here and listening. Alrighty. I don't hear anything, so I am going to shut it down and post it up, and I will. Oh. I see you, Red Eye. Yep, no worries, Red Eye man. You got it. I'll see you guys on the floor in a couple minutes. Thanks.